standby on lead for mankind.
Hello, once again, welcome. I'm Steve Parkins, the director of Mack Trucks Academy. Thank you and welcome to the latest edition of Academy Live. We are so pleased to be here today with several of our subject matter experts from the Mack brand to take us through this incredible truck behind me, the Granite. Before we get started, I would like to pass on the Academy's thanks to TransSource, who is the dealership partner that lent us this asset for today's show. So we really appreciate it. It's a gorgeous truck, and we look forward to learning more about it. Again, we know that your time is valuable, and we thank you for taking the time out of your busy sales activities to join us. Our goal here is to give you enough quality content and information and direction and counsel, perhaps, to help you sell more Granite trucks. So all of these Academy Live programs are actually recorded as well, and they are available on Trucks Dealer Portal under the Training tab with the sub-tab Academy Live. But we do encourage you to join us for the live events because we do have a live dialogue that goes back and forth, and my colleague Haley Sage will be explaining how to go about and do that. Please stay engaged, ask questions, enjoy the in-depth dive that we have planned for you today on the Granite truck. Get out there and good selling. I have nothing further. We've got a lot to get to, so I'm going to pass it to my colleague and our moderator for today's live event, Haley Sage. Haley, take it away.
Thank you, Steve. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Before we get started, let's discuss today's agenda. So we're going to get started shortly with a walk around of both the exterior and the interior of the Granite. After that, we'll switch gears a little bit and we'll discuss selling against the competition. Once we conclude with that, we'll dive deep into the powertrain and safety. And then we'll share some exciting product updates on the Granite. After that, we'll kind of talk through where you can find additional resources and information, and we'll conclude with a panel Q&A. So as Steve mentioned, we would love for you to ask questions throughout the presentation. So for those of you who have not used GoToWebinar in the past, on the right-hand side of your screen there is a panel with the tab for questions. So throughout the presentation, feel free to put your questions in. I'll be moderating those and monitoring them as they come in. We'll pause periodically to answer your questions. If we don't get to your question during the presentation, we'll cover as many as we can at the end. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. I'd like to introduce Juan Torres, Vehicle Sales Training Manager for Mack Trucks Academy. Juan?
Thank you, Haley. It's great to be here again and have a chance to talk to you about the great products we have available. And talking about great products, we have a truck that is known in the whole world because of their durability, the quality of the truck, the experience we have. Our customers know it. They have been seeing this truck over the road for decades, and everybody knows what it means to have a Mack Granite in their fleet. This is a truck that has been helping to build bridges, to help out to build hospitals, houses. I mean, we have been building schools. Construction is something that you see on the Mack Granites. So the Mack Granites bring to us what we can provide the customers the best products available in the market. And for that, we have this amazing truck today that you can see. And as we have this truck, we can work with almost every segment of the market. This truck is available in almost every presentation. We have this truck, as you can see it here, as a dump truck. You can find it in mixers. We can have it as a pump, construction pump. We can have it as refuse in some of the rear load. We can have it as even as over-the-road truck. This truck can perform any task you want it. It's intended to that, to make sure we can adjust to any customer needs and to make sure they can get the best out of our trucks. Let's talk more about the specific on this truck we have here today. And as you can see, we have a big grill. Our big grill comes with a great feature: more air intake into the engine. That means less fan engagement. That means better fuel economy for our customers. And also, for better performance, we have, as you can see, these lights, they are reinforced lights. That means they can work in the different terrains, rocks, and everything. They are really, really heavy resistant to perform any job. Our bumpers, we have different options on our bumpers. There are actually step forward bumpers that will help to protect the hood, and it will help to protect the grill and the lights. And as we always talk, the great thing about Mac, and our customers know it, is our Bulldog. So when we're talking about Bulldog, today we have our Gold Bulldog. That means we have the powertrain. There are Mac components. And we're going to be talking a lot about this today and all the benefits we provide with this truck and how we are making such a difference in the market with the different updates we have that is going to be incredible. You're going to see it, and you're going to see how easy is going to be talking about the truck and how much we're going to benefit our customers. Let's talk more about inside the engine on this truck, and let's open the hood. As you see, that was pretty lightweight hood. It was easy to open. Also, as you hear that click, that means that was the security latch. That means if you're trying to close it or somebody's trying to close it and you're working in the engine or under the hood, they aren't going to be able to close it, or if a wind catches, it's going to be secure. Because we're always thinking about our customers and how they can perform any jobs. We have an engine that sits a lot lower than our competitors, so you can have everything is at your reach. So if you need to check the fluids, that's easy to check. If you need to work on anything on your engine, the airlines are color-coded. It's easy to work. Thanks to that, we have, and the reason we have the engine sitting lower is we have a cornerstone frame. That means that it's open at the front. That gives us a better center of gravity. So it helps us to improve our turning ratio. Another options we have available are the axles. We have the axles, they move forward axles and rear axles. So we have different options. Here we have a taper lift axle with an 18,000-pound capacity. We have our splash shields that will help us to keep everything clean in the engine, everything protected. So whenever you want to resell your truck, it's going to be in a lot better shape. Let's talk more about the cabs. When we're talking about the cab, this is something everybody knows us. We have a steel galvanized cab. That means security, safety. That means comfort and a nice ride for our drivers. Also, talking about keep moving forward, we have our DEF tank here right next to our fuel tank. As you know, we have the DEF and the emissions that are located at this point on the other side, but we have our box that is a single box that the ClearTech one is smaller, has been updated, it's lighter, so that will give us more space to add different options for our customers. And talking about options, our D-shaped tanks, they come in different options for your customers. As you remember, we're trying to always use the most volume we can for the fuel. And as we talk about that, we recommend the D-shaped tank. But also we have the traditional tanks if your customer wants to take it. As well as that, we have the steps. As you can see, our steps are not straight. As you can see, they are a little bit setting back, so it's a lot easier to go in and out of the truck. And going in and out of the truck, let me show you something. To have easy access to the truck, we have our handle that on the outside, and we have our handle on the inside, always keeping 3 points of contact. Easy to access, right? And to get out of the truck will be the same way facing back. And talking about how to make it easier, we have set up now this switch for your pre-trip inspection, so you can test the lights by yourself. You don't have to have anybody right next to you. You can just come, turn on the switch, the ignition on the keys, and then turn on the switch. And then you can do a pre-trip inspection by yourself. You don't need any help to do it. Let me talk more now about the rear of the cab. When we're talking about the rear of the cab, you can see a clean cab. Of course, we have a body mounted already, but you can see that all the features is what the body company needed. We make it easier for them to work with our chassis. And working on that, we gain more space because we actually move the exhaust out of the back of the truck and we put it on the side of the cab. But and as you're gonna see it, and Tim Wrinkle is gonna be talking about it, it's something really exciting. The exhaust is not gonna be attached to the cab. So that's gonna be something he's gonna be telling you more about it, and you're gonna hear more about these different updates that are gonna make it easier and better for your customers. Also, we have different options on our chassis and the frame. We have different sizes. Of course, we have the different widths. We have 7 millimeters, 8 millimeters, 9 millimeters, or 11 millimeters. Everything to adjust to different options for our customers. They can find everything that they need and how they can work with the trucks. As you can see here with the pushers, now we're offering these ones. They can come installed out of the factory. So they can come out of the line ready for your customer. That means when it goes for any warranty, it's gonna be everything included in the same place. You don't have to go and look for something different somewhere else. Everything is a lot easier, a lot faster. So when the truck comes out of the line, it goes straight to a bodybuilder. They get the body mounted, and it gets to work. Let's talk more about the suspensions. As we know, the suspensions we have for Granite available, they are well-known Camelback and also the M-Ride. The M-Ride is getting more and more traction in the market, and it's more comfortable for over the road or off-road. That's a perfect combination to have a nice ride, to work better for the driver. So that's something people is liking. And let's talk more about the axles. So for talking about the axles, we have a great video I believe you're gonna like. Let's see the video on the axles.
For over 120 years, we built Mack trucks to live up to the grueling demands of every job, every haul, and every industry you work in. Your needs for articulation, traction, clearance, and on- and off-road versatility drive us to deliver better performance every day. Mack axles are a key component of our innovative integrated powertrain and continue to set the gold standard for performance and efficiency on every job our trucks drive. Mack axles are fully integrated with Mack engines, transmissions, and suspensions to work seamlessly with other elements of the powertrain. It's an energy-efficient design that reduces the need for outside service or maintenance. And just like our Mack engines and transmissions, our axles are made right here in the USA. Owners can choose between two housing options to fit the needs of their business. The durable, cast ductile iron axle housings are built with thicker walls to stand up to the toughest jobs. Our lighter weight fabricated steel axle housings deliver greater payloads that pay off on every job. With a new weight rating of up to 85,000 pounds, Mack axles are capable of hauling heavier than ever, no matter what job you're working on. Our axles are engineered with a top-mounted carrier design, which puts the drive shaft above the axle for greater performance. This straight driveline drastically reduces vibration and the potential for parasitic energy loss, delivering a quieter, smoother drive. The design also reduces wear on U-joints to maximize life and minimize repair costs. The top-mounted carrier offers up to 2 inches more ground clearance over our competitors, which means greater maneuverability for your trucks and less potential for off-road damage. The axle carrier is responsible for transforming torque from the drive shaft to your truck's wheels. Mack axle carriers offer innovative designs and features that no other carrier offers. Our dual reduction gear design reduces force from the drive shaft before transmitting torque to the axle by spreading and balancing the load over 2 sets of gears to maximize durability. Mack's patented Durapoid bevel gear design is engineered to maximize energy efficiency and gear life while reducing frictional losses to improve fuel economy. Our innovative power dividers deliver capabilities you won't find anywhere else. Mack power dividers automatically provide inner axle and inner wheel power divider capabilities to reduce unnecessary tire wear and keep you moving, even in the toughest conditions, without any additional switches or driver intervention. When an axle loses traction due to mud, ice, or unstable terrain, Mack's interaxle power divider automatically distributes up to 75% of torque to the axle with traction. The power divider cage distributes torque between the outer cam and inner cam using 2 rows of wedges. The inner wheel power divider is a limited slip differential. When a wheel loses traction, a cam mechanism automatically distributes up to 75% of torque between slipping and non-slipping wheels. The inner wheel power divider can be used with the inner axle power divider to provide increased drivability in very poor traction situations. We also offer an optional driver-controlled inner wheel differential lockout, or diff lock. Available in single and tandem configurations, Mack axles offer long-lasting dependability for impressive savings over the life of your truck. Thanks to an innovative, energy-efficient design that delivers power divider capabilities you won't find anywhere else, Mack axles are the clear choice for improved performance, greater durability, and a smooth, quiet ride.
Now let's talk about the interior. As we talk about the exterior and how we can handle rough terrains and the most difficult environments with the truck, also we have been updating our interior of the truck. So we have been working on trying to make sure it's the most comfortable and it's a place that the driver can actually be more productive and enjoy the ride. So let's talk more about the different updates we have, because many of you maybe don't see it every day, but this that we have now is standard. Our competitors offer this as optional. So most of the times you're gonna see it and you're gonna realize that these options are available for our customers and they are really important. So let's talk about starting from the door. When you start talking on the door, we have power windows, we have power locks. Now they're available and standard for our customers. So on their hand reach, it's really easy to work. And as easy to work, you can actually reach your lights right from the outside of the truck. So everything is located in only one area. So it's very easy for you to work around. Even if you're driving, you don't have to get distracted looking for lights or anything like that. You can just, with your left hand, you can work on them. And even on your left hand, as everything is easier, you have your stalk for the signals, wiper blades, anything is a lot easier now to work. And when you're working on that, we have something unique, something we just introduced, and we're very excited because this is an industry first. This is our bottom, a flat bottom steering wheel. Our flat bottom steering wheel will give you more access to go inside and outside the truck. Even for driving, it's a lot easier, more comfortable ride. And we have more options in the steering wheel now that we used to have. We have the controls now in the steering wheel. So if you see on the left side, we have the cruise control. We have even for your phone, you can operate your phone from the steering wheel. Then you have your city horn right in the center. And then we have the volume, and you can make changes radio station or move to the next song in your radio. Is really easy. Everything on your reach. You don't have to move. You don't have to get distracted. You keep working, and you still having all the amenities you want, right? And talking about amenities, let's talk about our dash. When we're talking about the dash, let's talk about the co-pilot, because on the co-pilot, we have a lot brighter co-pilot. We have now 6 gauges available for you to look in the same place. They are not sitting in another area from the dash. They are all in one area that you can keep track of everything going on. You can even take a look on your co-pilot and do a pre-trip inspection from the co-pilot as well. There are different options available. As you can saw it with the switch before, now you can do it actually from the inside as well. And talking about the inside and how everything is so easy to reach, let's talk about something I really like, and I know many of you appreciate, that is the M-Drive transmission. When we're talking about the M-Drive, we're talking about the M-Drive that comes available, the HD in 12, 13, and 14 speed. And I know Roy Walton is going to be talking more about these great features, and the Great Ripper, the Rock-Free. I mean, everything we have available that will make it a lot easier for you, and that many of our competitors, they'll come and offer those options additional. But for us and for our customers, that's a standard in our trucks. Let's talk about more standard things, that is like our radio. We have a great radio that is built in. It has all the features. You can connect your phone like I told you before. Everything is really easy to work. And underneath our radio, you can have an option to install a 7-inch infotainment. The infotainment is just all the technology on your hands, that you can connect your TomTom, the Cyrus radio, the Apple Play. I mean, also we have an option for a backup camera, believe it or not. It's incredible. So there are a lot of options you can see in there, as well as thinking about options and how easy. We understand that sometimes we'll spill things in the cup holders. You actually can remove them, clean it up, and put it back in. And they're just super easy to take out, to remove and put back. So, and talking about super easy and more about phones, because we spend a lot of time with the phones and we need a place to put it. Well, we thought about that too, right? So we have a place that we can hold the phone, and you can have it charging with you all the time, and you can actually save your cables in a compartment we have in that area that you can put it inside there, so there are no leaning all over the place. It's pretty easy to work around you. So as you can see, we have been thinking on everything a driver can need to be comfortable. For that, we also brought you the LED lights now available in the truck. All the interior lights are LED. And also, last but not least, our incredible PIP window. We always have our PIP window on the Mack trucks, so you can have visibility of the people that is on site right next to you, working to you, or if you're driving in the city, you at least can see that you have a car right next to you. With this, I will conclude my presentation on the interior of the Granite. I hope you like it, and we have more to come.
So yes, I'm Tim Wrinkle, the Construction Product Manager for Mack, and I appreciate you guys spending some time with us today. So I'm going to first talk about resale value. So this is a slide that I love to show customers, and it really just speaks to itself. But to set this slide up, this is pulled values and data from the January 2020 Black Book Commercial Truck Guide. And so what this is showing is the resale value of Mack versus competitor vocational vehicles from 3 to 6 years old. So when you look at it over time, you can see that that resale value is really there on the Mack, and especially in a 6-year-old truck. When you get out there, by the end, if you're wanting to resell that vehicle, you're going to have $21,000 better than our closest competition. But then when you look at some of the lower end guys, there's the $46,000 difference. So really, the proof is in the pudding here. The value that the Mack Granite brings is just shown in those numbers. So it's a great go-to to show customers that if they're going to keep the truck forever, that value's there. But if they do need to resell it, they'll have that opportunity to get their value back as well. So then jump into the Granite Competitive Comparison Guides. So these guides came out this past spring. So there's one on the Anthem and the Granite. So these were done by a third party, and this is intended for use just for Mack dealer personnel. They can be found on the truck dealer portal in the Mack Sales Playbook, or they can be found on Mack Sales Pro. So if you've got that on your phone or iPad, or if you don't, I'd highly recommend it. But if you do, there's that competitive comparison guide, and because it comes in pretty small, it's a great idea just to email that guide to yourself from Sales Pro. That's what I've done. So what I'm going to do is just hit some of the highlights here of this competitive comparison and show you how you might use it. So this is looking at the latch design in the hood, and so I've highlighted here, and Juan showed it when he opened up the hood, that had minimal pull force was required, and so we actually measured it. Only took 38.4 pounds to open the Granite hood compared to the competitors you can see, which are much greater, and some even double. So easiest hood pull on the Granite. It's a good thing to point out. Then when you look at the cab material and overall height, there's another advantage that we have of having the lowest cab roof height. So this comes into play when you're looking at doing cranes or a pumper truck, any kind of thing that has an overhead equipment that might be reaching over the cab. You want to have that low roof height. So from the top of the rail to the top of the Granite cab is 70.5 inches, which is best in class compared to the other guys. Also, ingress egress, very important. And the door opening, we measured, opens a full 70.6 degrees, which was much better than a lot of the competition. You can see their numbers there. Then step height. So there's a lot of detail here, but it's really good to note. So that first ground to first step, we measured 19.2 inches, which is very important because you want that short distance. You're not really having to reach that leg up. So that was best in class. Then the measurement from the first step to the second step, again, we had the shortest distance, 16.5 inches. And the second cab, or the second step into the cab, very important as well. But really what's driving that whole thing is our cab floor height at 51 inches was best in class. So that's really what enables us to have that great step clearance and making it really easy to get in and out of the cab. So as we wrap up these last ones, we looked at driver visibility, and we took visibility on all these various points around the truck. So here, it's a little bit different. It's like golf. So you want the short distance is better in this case. So we took these measurements here, and I'll show you some of the highlights. So the Mack Granite actually had the best visibility. You could see the closest to the cab in those measurements, A, B, C, and D. We were number one. And then in G, H, and I, we were in the top two. So when you look at that overall, great visibility that you're getting from the Granite and the Granite cab.
I just wanted to stop by and share a few slides on powertrain. I've got some information on some updates that happened earlier this year, or for Q4 of 2019 that were implemented this year. And then I wanted to share some competitive comparison between mDrive 1314 speed and Allison transmissions. We have some information about the new drive modes, and then some axle information and some warranty updates. So at first, just talking a little bit about integrated powertrain. Mack Trucks is and has been the leader in integrated powertrain for over 120 years. From today's MP engines, ClearTech One aftertreatment system, M-Drive transmission, and rugged Mack axles, Mack has a solution for our customer needs. How does Mack integrated powertrain benefit your customer? Mack powertrain components are designed and tuned to work together. All areas of the truck are monitored 24/7 by Mack Trucks' state-of-the-art Uptime Center. By integrating all Mack components, your customer is guaranteed bumper-to-bumper service and parts support at any Mack dealer continent-wide. Which brings up the point, what does integrated powertrain do for you and your dealer? It means you're capturing parts and service sales on all areas of the truck, not just the engine, not just the axles, not just the transmission, the entire truck, right? You're not putting a vendor component in there, so you're capturing that sale, parts and service sales for years to come. Moving on to engine updates, and again, these happened Q4 of 2019, and were basically implemented January 1. We went with a new engine management system module, not really a new one, but an upgraded one from EMS 2.3 to EMS 2.4. It has a new CPU, or a central processing unit, and basically what that means is it has increased computing power. It's faster, it's smarter. It has twice the flash memory of the previous ECU, and memory equals speed when it comes to computing. It also gives us faster programming times. That's for both plugged into TechTool and over-the-air programming. It also allows us to do more things over the air when we want to program. It has new low-side drivers for improved diagnostics, more robust barometric pressure sensor, which optimizes the air-fuel delivery at altitude. Something else that happened last year around Q4 was a reduction in the lubrication system. This only pertains to 13-liter VGT engines. It does not pertain to turbo compound. It does not pertain to MP7. It's only 13-liter VGT engines. And from the slide, you can see on the left what's in yellow. It shows the three filter system. And then on the right, you can see we've reduced it by one filter. That one filter is the full flow filter. Basically, the capacity has been reduced by 2 liters. Essentially, that's what that filter held, and then a little bit more in reserve that was held in the pan. We've also reduced the capacity of the pan, okay, up to 2 liters, or by 2 liters. So the reduction of the filter, the full flow filter, and the reduction of capacity in the pan. Why, you may ask, did we reduce it? Well, with the introduction of SCR, we no longer introduce as much EGR gas into the cylinders. We're using SCR, or DEF fluid, to help us eliminate NOx from tailpipe emissions. Well, with not adding as much EGR to the cylinder, you're not introducing as much soot into the engine as you were in the past. That soot then would get suspended in the engine oil, and the filter would filter it out. Okay, we no longer need that. We're utilizing far less EGR, not putting as much soot in the oil. So why not reduce the capacity? Why not pull a filter off of it and save our customers some money when it comes to maintaining their vehicle? The next slide just shows the available pans and basically the oil change volume or the capacity of that pan. And as you can see, the oil change volume has been reduced, by 2 liters. Okay, again, it's cost of ownership of this vehicle. We've just reduced it by that much per engine oil change. So, wrapping up the engine, let's talk a little bit about the M-Drive HD. Before we get really to the slide, I wanted to talk about a project that I've been on with sales engineering. We've put together a M-Drive technical sales manual, and it's all things M-Drive, from the electronics to the mechanicals. You can get pretty much anything that you want to out of this guide. If you're not interested in power flow through an M-Drive transmission, skip it, don't read it. But there is great information in there on all of the different features that are offered with M-Drive. We're going to touch on those just a little bit today, but we're not going to go huge in depth with them. Okay, so check that out. Again, it's in MSS and can be found under transmissions. Okay, under the header transmissions. The Mack M-Drive HD is fully integrated with Mack MP engines. It's improved productivity, safety, and fuel efficiency. Lower weight, less maintenance. M-Drive 13 and 14 speed models, you have your creeper gears there. Your 13 speed is 17.5 to 1 on the overdrive for unmatched startability. Your 14 speed overdrive has a 32 to 1 gear ratio for low speed applications. It's like two trucks in one. No compromises in startability or fuel efficiency. You have the ability to run highway rear axle ratios while maintaining the startability of the vehicle. Now, I promised you an M-Drive HD 14-speed versus an Allison competitive comparison. Okay, here it is, and it's kind of an eye chart, and there's a lot going on there. So rather than me go line by line and read it to you, I've kind of picked out some of the things that stand out to me, or the things that I run across, when I'm talking to you, the dealer, or to the customer. And generally that's weight and that's money, how much it costs, okay? And then how much does it cost to maintain it? So those are some of the things that I pulled out of this list today, and I'll talk to you about. The weight savings of a 14-speed versus an Allison 4500 is 147 pounds. The M-Drive 14-speed under normal and heavy-duty operation has 3 times the oil change interval of an Allison. Okay, you can see it right there on the slide. Ours is 500,000 miles. Allison is 150,000 miles. Okay, that's relatively 3 times. It's actually 3.3 times. Okay. The other thing that you need to look at is the capacity of oil. It says 19.5 quarts for an M-Drive and 51 quarts for an Allison 4500. 51 quarts is total capacity for an Allison. That's including the cooler, all the piping, and all the lines. Okay, it's more like 29 quarts for an oil change, give or take. Okay, so we're beating Allison at oil change intervals, and we're also using at least 10 quarts less oil per oil change interval. Okay, those things are going to add up over the life of the vehicle, and those are things that you need to be talking to this loyal Allison customer about when he comes to see you to look at new Mack trucks. Okay. The other thing that stands out to me when it comes to Allison versus M-Drive is our crawler gears. Our C1 ratio is 32 to 1. Our C2 ratio is 19.4 to 1. Allison has no creeper, they have no low gear, they have no granny. It's first gear that they have, and it's 4.70 to 1. So when it comes to tight job sites, maneuvering, slow maneuvering, working around in those tight spots, using this crawler gear or even having the crawler gear available is huge. It's just huge. And really with Allison, you're going to be on the brake pedal. 4.70 to 1, you're going to be on the brakes versus 32.1, you just put her in gear and you let it ride. The fuel efficiency of the M-Drive versus the Allison 4500 is proven. We see it in the analytics tool. If you're curious, you can contact me. We'll have my contact and Tim's contact information at the end of this. If you're curious to see it, you can contact me. In some specific instances, it's up to 1 mile per gallon, M-Drive versus Allison. The The other thing is you cannot understate the value of telematics and what it brings to our products, from monitoring potential issues to programming the engine and transmission modules remotely. This feature alone will keep your customer's truck on the road where it belongs. Okay? No one else has this type of technology. We need to be pushing it. We need to be talking about it in front of our customers because it's huge. Something else that happened late last year, Q4 last year, was an addition of a drive mode. And that drive mode is that first one that you see there in that second column, maximum economy, okay? It doesn't really fit into the conversation when we're talking about Granites, but it's there, right? It's gonna be something that's available on every other model chassis. So you need to know it's there. So first off, we have transmission shift packages. It's the normal, enhanced construction, easy shift, and heavy haul, okay? Then the drive modes that are available are maximum economy, economy, performance, performance plus, and heavy duty performance, or HD. You can see there on the premium shifter, the perf button went away, and now we call it the drive mode button. It's just like switching from economy and performance. However, now you have a few more selections, right, depending on which transmission shift package you're using or that is programmed into the truck. So what do they do? What do they offer? What do these shift packages offer, okay? Emax is maximum economy, just like the name says, right? The most economical setting for power, acceleration, and shifting. Econ is a balanced setting between Emax and performance, so it kind of gives you the best of both worlds. Performance is for performance, or perf, excuse me, is for performance. An aggressive shifting strategy for heavy pulls, maximum power and acceleration. This mode can also be achieved with the optional kickdown switch. So something to remember, if your customer wants a fleet shifter, you can set that fleet shifter up to actually have performance mode through the kickdown switch, okay? The driver doesn't really have a way to modulate it other than the kickdown switch. So like on your premium shifter, you have a couple different ways, the kickdown switch and the drive mode button, okay? So don't forget about that. P+, Performance Plus is for off-road situations. Shifting strategy is designed to maintain momentum while tackling rough and rapid changing terrain. And then there's HD, or heavy duty performance, okay? For moving gross combination weights over 130,000 pounds. This next slide just shows us shift packages versus what is available when it comes to drive mode, okay? If you see normal shift package will give you Emax, Econ, and performance. Easy shift gives you Emax, Econ, and performance. Enhanced construction, you get Econ, performance, and performance plus. At that point, Emax, you don't really need it, okay? It's not available anymore. Heavy haul is where you get most of your drive modes, except for Emax. You get Econ, performance, performance plus, and HD, okay? One point to make here, all of these drive modes are just a push of the button selection. So to go from Econ to performance, you just mash the button one time. To get it into HD mode, you physically have to push and hold that button, the drive mode button, for up to 3 seconds. And then it will switch to HD, okay? It tells you in the shift pad, and then it also tells you in the dash what mode you are in. Now, for more in-depth drive mode information, go to MSS and search product information M05, okay? That will give you a very comprehensive and in-depth description of each one of these drive modes and each one of these shift packages as well. Next slide goes over or talks about M-Drive features, okay? These features get skipped or they get overlooked quite often, I feel like. If you look at that list, there are only 2 on there that I can see, split shaft capable and auto neutral, that Allison provides or that Allison offers, okay? Everything else on that list is, is a Mack Trucks proprietary feature. No one else in the market is offering it, okay? So go out there, talk about it. The videos are on YouTube. They're on the Mack Trucks channel. There's the web address right there to go look at these. When you have a customer in your office or you're out at the customer, have these videos queued up, right? If you're in the truck with them, if you've just sold a truck to them, have these videos queued up. Show them what rolling start is, especially if they're a paver, right? If they work for a paver, show them what rolling start is. Show them the auto neutral feature. Show them grade gripper, okay? Point is don't overlook these because they are standard options. As long as you have the premium shifter, you have access to every one of these options standard. It's not a charge, okay?
In the rare instance that the rock-free feature cannot resolve the stuck situation, the power launch feature is helpful and can be activated. To activate power launch, disable traction control, engage the truck's differential locks. Put the transmission in Performance Plus mode. Press and hold downshift while depressing the throttle pedal. When the engine's RPM increases up to 1300, release the downshift button to safely launch the truck free.
To wrap up mDrive, let's talk a little bit about the clutch warranty. We've enhanced the clutch warranty for model year 22, okay? This starts January 1st. The mDrive clutch warranty for standard normal duty, okay, is 350,000 miles or 36 months. That's your mDrive and mDrive HD. So we've extended that 50,000 miles. That brings us into talking about rear axles, or the rear axle portion of my presentation. Okay. The first thing I want to talk about before I get to the bullet points is the Mack Axle Operation Guide. Okay. The Mack Axle Operation Guide is going to be located on TDP under the Sales Engineering tab. The guide is a comprehensive review focused on when and how to properly use interaxle power divider and differential lock. Now, I used a pilot version of this down in Alabama with a dealer, and it helped immensely, right? They used that information to go to their customer that may have been experiencing issues and try and cure those issues, right? Answer the questions on when you should be using the diff lock versus the interaxle power divider, okay? Now to get back to the slide, top-mounted carriers. Top-mounted carriers versus a front-loaded carrier provides 2 inches of ground clearance over the competition. A double reduction carrier, gearing reduces the speed from the drive shaft before transmitting torque to the axle shaft. This spreads and balances loading over 2 gear sets to maximize durability. Our top-mounted carriers drastically reduce driveline angle, which reduces vibrations between your front and rear carriers. This translates to less friction, longer bearing life, U-joint, and seal life. And we do have some updated Mack axle marketing material. You can find both of these, you can find the brochures on the Mack website, okay? Again, just a technical review of how these components work together, what they are, what they look like, how they work together. There's kind of a lot of mystery when it comes to Mack axles. It's proprietary, it's old technology, but it's proven and it works. So go check out the brochures, the new brochures, and then there's also a video which kind of falls into the brochures as well, a new technical video. That is on YouTube on the Mack Trucks channel. I recommend everybody go check that out. Great video, great graphics. To wrap up the axle portion, I wanted to talk about our standard axle warranty. We've made an enhancement there as well. For your Mack carrier and axle housing, we've extended that warranty to 750,000 miles or 60 months. Okay, that's a 50,000 mile increase on the standard warranty. For heavy duty, we've extended it to 60 months or 500,000 miles. It was 36 months or 300,000 miles. For our severe duty, we've changed it from 12 months to 24. Okay. With the axle and the clutch warranty enhancements, it shows that Mack Trucks is listening to you and our customers to improve every aspect of our product. I'm now going to pass it back to Tim, who has some safety feature information to share with you.
So yeah, safety, that's something that is top of mind of a lot of customers these days. So we put together some slides and some tidbits that you can use with your customers. So I'm going to jump right in. So the first one is our cab. As we mentioned earlier, the Granite has a galvanized steel cab, and it actually exceeds the requirements of the SAE J2422 and the European ECE regulation number 29. But on top of that, it also passes an additional internal Mack integrity test where we impact the A-pillar and the rear wall. So, and in general, you know, if I was going to be in a rollover situation, I'd much rather be wrapped in steel than aluminum that the competitors have. But real quick, that J2422 test simulates a rollover, so it impacts the test or the cab at an angle, then it impacts the roof. That's the one that we exceed. Then the additional tests, this is a little bit how they look. So they look like the A-pillar. The A-pillar is impacted as well as that rear wall. Then in addition to that, we have a feature where the engine and the transmission mounts are designed during a frontal impact to actually break away and travel under the truck instead of entering the cab and impacting the driver. So great feature there. Then just the exterior safety. So, you know, getting into the cab all day long. So the full-length exterior grab handle is a must. And when I've been around other trucks that do not have it, it feels like there's something missing. But I always, that's a go-to grab handle when you're cleaning the windows or doing anything on the body, always has to be there, and that's standard with the Mack Granite. Also, the door-mounted handle and always securing those 3 points of contact. As Juan mentioned, the stair-like entry for getting in and out, and actually in that competitive comparison, if you go back to it, you can see that there's actually 2 inches of offset that we have in addition to our competitors, so very important there. Then just that visibility, that wraparound A-pillar, the sloped hood, the large rear window, the peep window, leading ground clearance, and again, that lowest ground to cab floor height, very important there. Then one of my favorite features is that puddle light and the brand new interior. So this is very key. A lot of work is done at the wee hours of the morning or late at night, and it's great to illuminate the ground and illuminate the steps and have that safety factor there, as well as that door grab handle that's always there. And the pre-trip assistant. So I love that switch right below the light control module, being able to hit it and help ensure that a driver actually does his pre-trip assistant and making sure all his lights are working. So Mack also has Mack road stability, so the anti-lock braking system, the automatic traction control that can also be turned off, fully disabled when you're in mud and snow situations, roll stability control, and electronic stability control, so a very key backbone feature. And the Roll-Tech seat. So the Roll-Tech seat actually does 3 things if it detects a rollover. It has its own rollover sensor, but it actually tightens the seat belt. It pulls the seat down itself to maximize that survivable space and deploys that side airbag. So a great safety feature that we have with the Roll-Tech seat. So now I'm going to jump to some product updates. So this is my favorite part of the meeting here.
Part of the technology of command steer is it returns to zero. So you know how if you're doing a lot of turning back and forth, you let go of the wheel, it'll bring you straight back to zero.
By itself?
Once you get heading straight, let go of the wheel.
No way.
Right to zero.
No way. Wow. That is amazing. That is just amazing.
And the thing about it, when you get into some of these job sites, the tight maneuverability you need to get in and out, and you can feel the difference it makes right there when you're backing up.
Oh, absolutely. It would make a driver's life more comfortable.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I'm not fighting the steering wheel.
At all, right?
I mean, my truck, I can feel the truck, but I'm not fighting the steering wheel.
Yeah.
That's the amazing part of that. Being able to steer something like this with one finger. I mean, you don't even have to chase it, right? It's back to zero.
Yeah, I could really get used to this. I could really get used to this.
But the very first one, so looking at command steer. So hopefully you guys have seen this and read up on it, but you know, it's adding that assist, the electronic motor that gets added to the steering gear. And the next slide here shows some of the things that it does. So it's actually sensing, taking inputs more than 2,000 times per second, monitoring road conditions. And one of the nicest things it does is that return to zero feature. So when you let go of the steering wheel, that steering wheel automatically zeroes. So it's very helpful in backing and being in parking lots and needing that maneuverability. But it reduces driver effort immensely up to 85%. So the command steer is going to be published in MSS next month, December, and it will be hitting production for us in February. So important to remember, command steer on Granite is only available in axle back, and it also requires that Bendix roll stability system be in the truck as well. So just remember that. I would highly recommend you get a demo truck and get your customers into this and show it to them themselves. All right, Bendix Wingman Fusion 2.0. So great enhancements between 1 and 2. So they improved the automatic emergency braking, now up to 50 miles per hour, where it was just 35. So big improvement there. And also it's looking at multi-lane for that automatic emergency braking event. Has a highway departure warning, adaptive cruise control. The production start is delayed for Granite, but it will be starting in Q2 of next year. So as soon as we have more details on when we can publish it in MSS, we will be letting you know. But right now, that's where it's looking like it's going to happen. All right, a weight savings. So M-Ride suspension and the Mack axle integration. So we were able to combine a lot of those components and save 140 pounds and 146 pounds if it's disc brake. So this is on standard track with axles. The production is starting this month. And so when you get that combination, I'll show you a little bit about that weight. So MSS is not reflecting this weight savings as of yet because it has to do with the combination of the suspension and the axle. So just for now, you're going to have to just take that leap of faith and know that it will be 140 pounds lighter. And so we put the new weights there and also noted the difference. You know, we're closing in on the HMX is the lightweight leader, but now we're just 223 pounds more than HMX with the M-Ride. So closing that gap. So great new feature there. A new bench passenger seat. So this is going to come in Q3 of next year. So there's actually going to be two different options, two width options, one that goes all the way across and one that leaves 10 inches for body controls. But it's going to come in gray vinyl, black Madura, and also going to have the option to remove that cup holder that's down near the feet and can cause, you know, interference to that third man that might be in the cab. So we've actually increased the leg room with these new bench seats. That red bench is the current bench, and the green and blue are the two new ones you can kind of see in that top view. But looking forward to this new bench, the new room that it provides. Then we have a new CA that we are very excited about is a stainless steel oil pan. So this is a new option that is planned to be available in Q1 of next year. So we are taking the Snow Depot stainless steel oil pan, offering it as a CA. But please do not ask for a quote right now. We don't have everything quite ready yet. We're still working on the trial and getting it through. But as soon as we get into January, look for that and start asking for that. The Granite seat updates, this was across the board. Resculpted, recontoured seats went into production also in November. The armrest can now be fine-tuned with that tuning wheel. So great improvements there, as well as the additional seat options with the Sears Atlas 80 and the National 2000, which went into production in September. So remember that as well. Then just beware if you're not already, but the MP8 505, we used to have a restriction with the Allison, but that restriction has been lifted on Granite axle back, non-FEPTO. And the axle forward, upon request, can also be done in a lot of places, but it depends on the application and geography. So when you're in need of that, just ask sales engineering and we'll try to get that request done for you. All right, 2 quality items. So the cab mount exhaust, we had an improvement that's actually hitting production this month as well, where we've changed how the bearing works, and so getting rid of any kind of noise and durability issue. There are aftermarket kits that are going to be out and available in the field sales bulletin that will be published. So this was a great improvement that's here now, as well as removing the coating on polished fuel tanks. So this will be happening in Q1 of 2021. It's been slightly delayed, but no longer will you have to spend a lot of time trying to get that coating off the fuel tanks here shortly. Then just wanted to put a quick plug in for the factory auxiliary pusher axles that we have in production already. So we've got the 4 models that are MSS. Just remember they are their own unique models, the 8x4 and the 10x4. Available in the axle forward and the axle back. We've got 13,500 and 20,000 steerables and the 20,000 rigid lift axle available. Also, as a CA, and we've had this question come in, the 8x4 20K steerable pusher with automatic disc brakes is available as a CA. So contact sales engineering if that is an item you need, and we'll be working on expanding our lift axle portfolio, and more to come on that next year. But just hitting on the quick selling points of the Mack factory installed aux axles, we're getting competitive pricing. And just remember the key is that the wheels and tires of that aux axle are included in the price. So when you're comparing to other quotes, be sure they're apples to apples. That reduced customer lead time. You're getting the right sticker on the door with the right GIWR right from the factory. The maintenance goes away, huck bolts from the factory, no retightening needed, and you're getting that factory axle alignment. And best of all, for the salesman, you can earn commission on the lift axles instead of passing that through to the bodybuilder. So remember that. Then last, there's a new package code that came out that works great with the axle forward 8x4. So this is the PK7 1770, where we utilize frame-mounted air and allows for a shorter wheelbase. So this is a great solution when you're looking for a wheelbase of 226 to 228 and packaging that with 111 gallons of fuel. So be sure to seek that out and try that. So in the meantime, if there's any auxiliary axle options that we don't have in the sales tool, remember that quoting it with the CAC is also a great option. So they're doing pushers on Anthem and Pinnacle right now, roll-off version of lift axles, other weight capacities, additional quantities, tag axles. And so just be sure to contact the CAC. Their function mailbox is right there, and they will have a quote to you very quickly. So just wrapping up, this is just a shot of everything that I just showed you and the timing. I'm not going to belabor on it, but Command Steer coming out next month, so be sure to get one on order. Bendix Fusion coming Q2 next year. That new M-Ride integrated with max axle weight saving 140 pounds. The new seats, the new bench seat that will be coming our way. The CA option of 20K steerable and 8 automatic disc brakes. The stainless steel oil pan coming, and then those quality updates. So we've talked a lot about different possible resources, so this is just a summary, and I would implore everyone to subscribe to the Mac YouTube channel. When you do that, you automatically get notified of new videos that are posted, but that's where that Mac axle video is, the command steer videos, the M-Drive features that Roy spoke of. Also, Sales Pro, be sure that you have that app downloaded as well. That's where you'll find brochures for the Mac axle, command steer, Bendix Fusion, and that competitive comparison that we hit some of the highlights. Then the truck dealer portal. So the Mac Sales Playbook is a great resource. I ask you to go check that out. It also has a link there to the competitive comparison. And then the sales engineering page itself has the different documents to it, that M-Drive encyclopedia that Roy spoke to. Also, Mac Powertrain Predictor is on there, and the Mac Axle Operation Guide that we will be posting very soon. So great resources. Be sure you check them out. And with that, I believe we're to our Q&A. So Roy and I's contact information is posted there for your reference. We would love to hear from you if you have any additional questions. I'm going to turn it to Haley.
Thank you, Tim. So just as I said, being respectful of time, we will, have an abbreviated panel, about 3 or 4 minutes or so. And I just want to reiterate that the slides we reviewed today will also be available on TDP. So you'll be able to download and have access to all of the content that we reviewed today, as well as the recording of the webinar. And if we don't get to your question during the panel, we'll have those on TDP as well. So with that, I'd like to welcome our panel. It's Roy and Tim that you've already heard from. We also have Kenny Palmer joining us from Allentown. So Kenny, if you wouldn't mind turning on your webcam and mic, and let's see if we can hear you.
All right, thank you, Haley.
Wonderful. Kenny, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name's Kenny Palmer. Probably dealt with hopefully everybody that's called in today, or in some way, shape, or form. I just want to talk about sales engineering, right? We've heard our department name get named a lot by the panelists so far. We just want to put this slide up there as a reminder to everybody that's out in the field that we have a staff of sales engineers covering all products: Granite, Highway, cab over, and medium duty. We're located up at LVO currently in Pennsylvania. We've got an 800 line that you can reach out for questions, as well as functional mailbox. And you can see there at the bottom, there's just a couple things that we like to point out that we're here to support with. So again, just a quick plug, quick reminder that we're here to support.
Thank you, Kenny. All right, so our first question for the panel, I believe we already touched on this, but just to reiterate, do you have any resources to help our drivers best operate the Mac axle?
Take that, Haley. So, yep, great question. So that we have a brand new Mac axle operation guide that is in the works. We're just putting the final touches on it, and that is going to be posted on the sales engineering page on TDP. And so we will send out an SCD letting you know when it's ready, but coming very soon. And if you really need it in the meantime, reach out to Roy or I, and we can give you a draft copy.
Thank you, Tim. Next question, can you speak to ways that we can lower or we can reduce the weight of the Granite to be more competitive?
Yeah, I can start that one, and then maybe I'll punt to Kenny, but there's multiple things you can do. I mean, off the bat, big picture, looking at M-Drive versus Allison, you're going to save weight. Looking at using the MP7 versus the MP8 is going to save about 400 pounds. There's also some things you can do with disc brakes and specific components. And for even more details, I think, Kenny, you can jump in here too, but I think sales engineering answers a lot of these types of questions.
Right. So that's a good point, Tim. I mean, a lot of the questions we get are, I'm up against a certain brand spec. Here's the weight number I'm trying to achieve. How do we get close? We will also do some one-off studies and say, this truck with this suspension, with these frame rail options, with these cross members, we can do kind of a deep dive and make sure that, the number we're presenting to you is accurate, as well as find some opportunities. For example, if we know that the body is going to have a subframe, right, we might be able to approve a lighter frame rail option as long as we can prove that that subframe will support the load of the vehicle.
Thank you both. Next question. Roy, we had somebody say they looked on MSS to find the mDrive technical sales manual and weren't able to find it. Could you maybe elaborate where that's located for us?
Yeah, sorry, I kind of glossed over that. I actually have the document number in my notes. So when you're in MSS, search 1361S6, and that should get you to the document. If you don't find it in the search, it's the very first, when you open up transmission and mDrive, it's the very first entry in transmission, and then that product information is hung right there on the header. It's called technical sales manual.
Components, how do we make sure that we're providing clear back of cab? That might be a good question for Kenny.
Okay. So like Tim mentioned before, that's okay. Are we good, Haley?
I think so. Can you hear me? We think we lost your video, but I think we can still hear you, Kenny.
Yep, I can hear you now. Okay, so as Tim mentioned before, one of the tools that sales engineering puts into MSS are pre-engineered chassis configuration packages that are in the PK7 and PK8 families in the sales tool. They have documents that explain key dimensions that you can share with your bodybuilder. And in most cases, that prevents the need for you to have to order a custom chassis drawing from us. So again, it's a great place to work in. Don't hesitate to call us and work through what your customer and dealer are looking for to make sure that we achieve free frame rail space, clean back of cab, etc.
Thank you. And I see we are over on time. So my last question for the group. Can the heavy duty shift mode or performance plus mode be made the default instead of the economy mode?
Haley, and the answer is no, it can't. The only default mode is economy, or whatever the most efficient drive mode is that's programmed into the vehicle. Now we can set it up to where the vehicle has to be manually put back into economy mode, but at that point, every time you switch the vehicle off, it's going to automatically revert back to the most efficient drive mode. So you can in a way, but it's only temporary, right? So as long as you don't shut the truck off, then kind of, but there's no way to make it a standard, hey, I get in the truck and it's P plus all day, every day. It just doesn't work like that. We can't do that.
Thank you, Roy. All right. Well, with that, I think we've wrapped up our webinar. So I'd like to thank our panelists. I'd like to thank our presenters, and I'd like to thank you, our audience. Thank you so much for your patience and for spending some time with us today. We hope you learned something valuable, we hope. And like I said, recording, slides, questions will all be available on TDP. So with that, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.